What's going on, YouTubers, gamers and hobbyists, and welcome to On the Bench with Pete, the series you put on in the background whilst you hobby or paint along with me. And I've just realised it's quite warm out here. I'm just going to put my fan on for a little while. Excuse me a moment. That's better. Hopefully it won't be too noisy, but yeah, it's very warm. I've heard we're due for another mini heatwave, so yeah, that'll be interesting. Now, I came out here today with the intention of finishing, or at least doing another part, not finishing, but doing another part of my War Machine Arcane Tempest Gun Mage tutorial. Problem is, the battery for the camera I use for it is needing to be charged, so charging that up for a bit first. So, I thought, well, let's do it on the bench thing, so that'll give it an hour of charge, or thereabouts. And yeah, let's do this thing. I've got some Catachan Jungle Fighters back out from their tray. I'd only done one colour on them, which was Bugman's Glow, so we'll see how that goes. I'm going to need to put a wash on, but I've dug out some more Zombicide miniatures, Black Plague, so be able to get on with that at least, and finish, not to mention finishing off my characters for Zombicide. That's going to be good. Right then, so if you're new to this series, you need to get yourself set up for doing some hobby, building, painting, whatever, whatever you are doing. You put this on in the background, get yourself a tea, coffee, some sort of beverage, whatever, and just play, listen to me ramble. I, got stuff to talk about, as always. And yeah, we'll zoom in on the bench. Right, let's get to the bench. Okay, so here is the bench. Here are the Catachan Jungle Fighters. Make it part of my Astra Militarum. So they've got a light coating of Bugman's Glow on them. So I'm just going to go straight in with a Reichland Flesh Shade wash. For the most of them, I've got I have other washes, but I'll use Reichland Flesh Shade on them now. What I am looking for, this is a regiment brush, because I'll use that. It's not a huge brush, but it'll do. It'll do for the purpose of this. So this is what I'm working on, and the latest update. I've been back at work for a week now. I've done my first week on reduced hours. I'm gradually pushing myself, trying to increase them. It makes good business sense to do that, because more money, right? But yeah, I've been doing that, and yeah, I've been feeling okay. I've been, I felt the tiredness a couple of times, but by and large, I'm doing all right. I think so anyway. Yeah, so put this Flesh Shade on, then I'll be coming in with some highlights. Right, yeah, so that's going well. Hopefully I can get back on my feet again financially soon, in the near future, because where I was a good place. I want to get back there again if I can. Do my utmost to do that. Right, so that's him done. So that's going to make this base skin layer rather messy, dirty looking. That's fine for Catachan Jungle Fighters, isn't it? We're in the jungle, for goodness sake. Right, so yeah, it's been a while since I dug these fellows out. I was before I got ill, wasn't it, when I was doing these? So by rights they should have been done by now, but life, isn't it? Life, my friends, life. And All sorts of exciting things for these. Gaunt Ghosts I've seen. They look good as well as a unit, as a box set of models. They look good. I'm gonna have to get the Gaunt's Ghosts books as well to read up on it. I'm sure once I do that, if I do that, I'll just buy the models straight away. If I do that, once you get into it, isn't it? So what other news do I have from the Mark? What news from the Mark? Well, just lift that camera up slightly there. Bit better. News is, I came close, or I was close to obtaining my most nostalgic board game from my childhood. It was literally the board game that started my love of games, really. My obsession with games. And it's very, very hard to come by, and it is not cheap because it's so old. It came out in 1970, I think it was, or 71. And that game is Haunted House. Now, I'm sure the memory of the game far outweighs the actual practicality of it, because I remember it with such fondness. But to actually own one would be phenomenal. Hoping to get one for Halloween. Because what I would do with it, my friends, is I would do one of my board game restorations, where I restore the box, pieces, everything I can, back to its former glory. It's a game I've never seen complete a mint, ever. It's just too old now. But you can make up a mint set through, getting spares and stuff like that. But it's a question of what board set do you pick up initially. You've got to be careful, because some of them I notice on the listings, they say complete, and they're not, because they're missing cards. There were 3 sets of cards in the game, and a lot of them only have 1 set, and you can't play the game without the others, so not that I envisage playing it a lot, just to own it. Something from my childhood. I never actually owned the game, you see. That's another thing. It's my cousins getting my two female cousins that we used to go over and visit. Like my mum and dad would visit my auntie and uncle occasionally. And they knew that was my favourite game, so they would always kind of tease me with should we play Haunted House? What game do you want to play? I'd be like, Haunted House. And they knew I loved it, and they indulged me in it. I don't know. I think they enjoyed it as well. I think they were a little old for it by the time I was playing it with them. But I loved it so much. I had such a fondness for it. My cousin actually made me a copy of it. She was good at building things, quite crafty and such like. So she made the board and all the walls and that, because it's a 3D component game where you've got to escape the haunted house. Yeah, and she built it with the walls and the chimney and everything, and it was just wow. Thank you for doing that. And if I ever do get my hands on a copy of it, I'm going to do such a video on it. I'm just going to, and hope that my cousins see it. You might remember I picked up Escape from Colditz. That was a nostalgic game for me. Haunted House is the most, though, because it was the first. I mean, prior to that, the only games I'd had contact with were, and I was young, very, very young. We were talking between the ages of 4 to 7, I suppose. Prior to that, my only games contact would have been like the likes of Snakes and Ladders, Ludo, Frustration, and Home You Go. I think another cousin had a game called Chinese Checkers that I played occasionally when I went over there. Yeah. That, of course, and chess, which was like the first real strategic game I ever came across. And we had this travelling Martin's travelling chess set. My uncle and auntie, they had a proper full-size chess set, a wooden one. I was like, wow. And whenever we went over there, I always used to try and, play my dad at chess on the big board. And I enjoyed that a lot. The Haunted House. It's hard to say what it was about that game. I think it might have been the artwork. I mean, you can get an updated version of it, and the later version of it, which was called Ghost Castle, wasn't as good. Right, so that's the Catachan Jungle Fighters. Skins washed. Pop that wash back now. So we're doing all right here now. So this is my second video. Well, I would have done more. I had a phone appointment with the hospital today regarding my MS and post-COVID symptoms, blah blah blah, how you getting on, etc., etc. What do you want to do about your next test, blood test, whatever? And I'm like, well, I'll just explain my situation. And they're like, oh yeah, okay. Talked about how I came off my MS medication whilst I was ill so that I could heal. And they were in agreement with that. They said, yeah, that probably was the best thing you could have done. Absolutely fine with that. They understood. Because my MS medication, you see, it suppresses my immune system. And I kind of needed my immune system to fend off this illness. So, it was kind of a tough thing. Right, snake bite leather. I'm going to use snake bite leather. It's contrast paint on my Zombicide character here. Just on the quiver that his arrows are in. I'm going to use Army Painter character brush. Yeah. So each time get a bit more paint on. My dog Rufus is poorly at the moment, so I'm a bit concerned about him, especially as he's, older. Yeah, it wasn't that long ago that he lost his sister, so I am concerned about him. So I've been going in checking on him at regular intervals, so. Yeah, I hope he's alright, because he's a good boy. Oh, these contrast paints are really something else. They're brilliant. But yeah, so I've only just finished my first week, so I won't get paid until next week. But at least I'm back on the road for getting paid now, so that's good. That's the only problem with working for an agency. You don't get as good of a sick pay. You just get the state sick pay, which is, or the statutory sick pay, which is not great. Right, so best wait for his quiver of arrows to dry. What else can we... well, he is near completion, isn't he? Don't think I've got a picture of his front though, what colours we're using here. Maybe a dark brown. Look for Gorgon to Fur or Wildwood. Did I? Or Cygor Brown, perhaps. Honestly, which? Cygor Brown, I think. I'm gonna pop that on here. I'm just gonna lean over, turn off my fan. There. Bit more quiet. It's cooled down a bit now, so that's good. Give this a good shake because I don't know how long it's been since I've used this. Right. So Cygor, I'm not even sure what this is. But it's something that's hanging off his front robe here. Something up here as well. It's just literally a couple of details. And then we're going to put some wash on. Thinking of putting Basilicanum grey on his grey robe. And Agrax Earthshade on his brown robe. On his staff, probably. Yeah. Black Templar for the handle of his sword. That's what I'm thinking. Apothecary White's another. Option. I'm a bit annoyed because I ordered a spray paint, lead belcher, primer. Because I've got so many things I can use that for. I ordered it initially for my to do the main part of my Imperial Knight, but I mean I can use it for like my Necrons from Indomitus, so that'd be a great undercoat for them. So yeah, right. Oop. Alright, so just being careful with this. I will do the hilt of his sword in a gold. Nearly. For such a small... These are small areas I'm doing on these. And for such small areas, I wouldn't have thought it would take so long, but it is. It's taking long. So that's the black. Basilicanum grey. This is a very dark colour. Yeah, that's not the one we want. think Dawnstone. Because I want to finish up his robe there. So I think Dawnstone might be what I used. Yeah, that's another thing. It's taken so long that it's been intermixed with me being off of regular hobby that I've forgotten what colours I've painted my miniatures. Which is yeah, haha. I wonder what the next phase of my working life is going to be. Say, I've been hoping to get into the same place my wife works at. Yeah, that's the trouble. You don't notice these things until you go around the model in great detail, do you? Alright, so that's Dawnstone. Done. Been 25 minutes since I started this one. Now, oh yeah, that's right. I was going to do the lacing on her. Of course, we've got a dagger scabbard. I'll do the good old snakebite leather. We'll do that. Yeah, these contrast paints are really pretty good, you know. Yeah. I guess the only thing I don't like very much about the role I'm doing now is when I have to do the later shifts. No, I can't say I'm excited about that. I prefer to start early, finish early. I've always preferred that. Just the way I'm wired, I guess. Aha, another scabbard. Yes, this will be good. Yeah, I'm trying to get into where my wife works, because they've got some fantastic roles and opportunities in there, and there probably will be more scope for working from home as well in the long term. Because at the moment, although I'm working from home, I will be expected to go back into the office at some point, and I'm not. Does anybody else need snake bite leather? I do hope not. He needs lead belcher, so I'll leave that out. Anybody else needs snakebite leather for anything? I don't believe so. He needs a bit of lead belcher on him too. Yeah, that isn't bad. This isn't bad. Liking this. So we'll do lead belcher. That's what we'll do. can do some on my Catachan Jungle Fighters too. Yeah, I'll do that. So we're going to do lead belcher. I wonder if I should use my wet palette for this. Probably a good idea if I do. So let's stick some on here. Ooh, nearly got the wrong water there. Different jar, because we don't want to contaminate any other colours with metallics. Right. So that's lead belcher. Okay. And of course, these are going to have to be highlighted as well. So I'm just on my Necromancer at the moment. I mean, got to think at this time of day as well, what we're going to have for tea. Do you ever get that? You get to a certain point in the day and think, well, you know, if you're not working, you think, well, what are we going to have for tea tonight? The answer is, honestly, I don't know. I can't afford takeaway, so that's out of the question. I think we've got a pizza in the freezer, but it's not going to feed 3 of us. So decisions. Okay, Catachan Jungle Fighters. Only because I've got the lead belcher out here. I might as well stick it on the bits that you want to now. Do it now. Although it's a wet palette, you know, it's just good to do it at the time. It's not going to hurt, so yeah, that's what we're doing. I've been looking lately on YouTube for more different YouTube channels. Something I've been doing. Because I want to find more hobby goodness out there, I suppose. So yeah, so I've been on a bit of a mission. It's not easy, you know, trying to find new YouTube channels, which is why I like the channel recommendation videos. In my case, YouTube channel of the week. And I used to do it every week as well, but I quickly ran out of new channels to find. So why if someone else recommends, I'm like, ooh, let's check that out. Right, so it's mostly bits on guns and whatnot. Oh, he's got a grenade. Is it frag or crack? I think it's. Oh, I don't know. I never know which is which, frag or crack. But he does have a grenade on his belt, so. This is what we're doing. Painting a grenade on my Catachan jungle fighter. Yay! So you've got a bit of a serrated sword thing going on here. I suppose handy for cutting through debris and plant life or whatever in the jungle. Yeah, that would be. Like I say, I'm just painting a lead belcher on it. I wouldn't have painted lead belcher like metallic next in through choice. Probably done more on the skin. And then like a Cadian flesh tone on the skin. How would that be? He's got a knife, this one. There we are. See? It's going to be standard issue, that's fine. So, yeah, going back to Haunted House. What I'm hoping to do is see if I can pick up a copy of it once I have the resources, funds to be able to. I'll have to wash his hand off again, that's annoying. Went over his skin. Not a problem. Not a problem. Not going to paint the silver bits on the gun casing. Not until I've painted the gun casing. I'll do that first. But yeah, I was thinking, another thing I was thinking of last night in bed, I was thinking about the bolt action starter set. Is it Island Assault, which is the latest one? Americans and Japanese. Yeah, I thought about that. But, the lure of Haunted House is getting stronger each time I encounter it. It'd be lovely to do a video on it and then have my cousins watch it and see how appreciative I am and was of them letting me play that game. Yeah, that was really something else for me as a small child. Okay, so these guys have all got bits on their guns which could... Something else I've been trying to do lately is pick up a couple of more miniatures for Call of Cthulhu. Because recent events have transpired and it doesn't look like my gaming group's ever going to be back to the way it was, so I am looking at solo Cthulhu. I've got two actually solo Cthulhu missions, adventures. I've got Alone Against the Flames. I think I've got Alone Against the Dark, is it? But yeah. Voice is still not up to full strength yet, so no Doors of Fangorn today, I'm afraid. But that'll be good. Finish that off. Okay. So yeah, did my telephone appointment with the hospital today. And that went well, you know. And the MS nurse who phoned, I actually know her from church, or a church I used to go to rather. Don't go there anymore, but different parish now. But yeah, so it's good to talk to her and, you know, catch up and stuff. She's very impressed that I'm now working for the police, because last she heard I was working. I think it might have been Sainsbury's or Asda. No, Sainsbury's last she heard. So I've come a long way. I've come a long way in a short space of time. I will get back to my book eventually. It's just a matter of having time. If I had like an extra day off here and there, that would work quite well. But at the moment, I just can't afford to. Just can't afford it. I'm getting rather hungry at the moment because I haven't eaten a lot today. Sausage roll and crisps. And it was a vegan sausage roll, so there's no meat in it. But that said, you can't tell the difference. They taste the same, because I suppose, you know, and I've said it before, having been a baker myself, sausage rolls don't have a lot of meat in them anyway. There's really hardly any meat in a sausage roll. It's mostly like cereal and that kind of thing, and some of them taste not very nice because they have too many herbs and spices in. But the vegan ones taste just fine. I'll have to go in and have it a bit later. So I might be able to get some Cadian flesh tone on these after, and that'll be good. That'll be very, very good. So planning a trip soon to a place called Tavistock with my wife. Just to, you know, there's a nice bit of nature around there you can walk as well. So I just would like to walk with my wife in the heart of nature, take some nice pictures, and maybe check out some of the shops if they're still open. I haven't been there for such a long time. Used to be a shop there that sold Warhammer stuff, old Warhammer stuff, like out of date stuff, but Warhammer stuff nonetheless, which I would happily pick something up to make a you know, tutorials for or whatever. Although I've got a load of them, I'd like to redo or do some more Hormagaunts for my Tyranid army and do a bit of a better paint job on them, because I only painted them up real quick and easy. Carrying some sort of communication pack, like a radio pack or something. I guess designed to contact from dense undergrowth. Yeah. That's good, that is good. 2 more left. Oh, he's carrying a grenade. I can always tidy up a bit when I do Cadian flesh tone, which is what I'll be using. But then, thinking I might need to wait until I've put a wash on the metal, because I don't know, unless if I'm really careful, I'll get away with it. That's the trouble painting out of what you would normally, the order you would normally paint in. There's gonna be a lot of leather on these guys when I get around to it. Okay, now a guy with a pistol and a sword. Traditionally, they like the leaders, aren't they? The ones with the pistol usually, or they're pointing. Yeah, so that'd be good. Yeah, so if, I'm gonna go to Tavistock with my wife and have a look around there. So that'll be good. Get us out of the house. And I'm not working this weekend. I just worked the weekend, just gone. So that'll be good. Have a weekend off and. Do that together. There. That is the lead belcher for them. Oh dear, oh dear. What do I do next? That's the thing. We're at 51 minutes. Not a lot, really. Not an awful lot. Not a lot. I suppose I could put a Basilicanum Grey. But here's the thing. I would think my contrast. See, there it is, and you can't find it. So what I'm looking for, guys, is my contrast medium. I know I've got it somewhere, but where? It's not in with my other washes and things. Oh, that could be a place to put it, I suppose. Let's keep him there. So bear with me. I'm going on a hunt, search and rescue mission. That's what I'm going on. I've got some technical paints. Here we go. Contrast medium. I was just in my sentence of saying I've got some technical paints in a different drawer. Right then. Shaking up the paints like crazy here. So I am going to do blob, 2 blobs. Of medium and 1 of Basilicanum grey. Right. I've got an itchy eyeball now. Not fun. So I want a regiment brush. And I'm just going to apply Basilicanum grey. Yes, so it's going on all right actually. Hoping I've made up enough. So it was a 2-to-1 ratio, wasn't it? I made. Enjoying CSI Miami at the moment. Still on season 1 at the moment, but yeah, enjoying that. It's set in Florida, like, you know, Miami, Florida. Having been to Florida, it's kind of like, yeah, cool. That was a great holiday. Then we went to Florida. 2 weeks of glorious sun. It really was glorious. I might be lucky and get away with the amount I made up here for this. But we'll see, time will tell. Or it'll be just enough. Did I tell you I want to move to Seaton? If I haven't told you before, it's a town by the sea, obviously. Well, it's not obvious to everyone, I suppose, but yeah. So it's a town by the sea, and they got a geek store there, and like a nerd shop. I don't know, I want to go there and collect Funko Pop heads because they sell them. That'll be my thing. So when I move to Seaton, you know, you'll see me do videos and that, and there'll be Funko Pop heads in my future for that. Be more board games when I move there too as well, because I'll have more space with which to do it. I'm just rubbing my eyes a moment. Yeah, so there he is, Basilicanum grey. So I'm going to leave it there. Didn't get to do a tutorial today, well, unless I can fit some footage in later. But yeah, anyway, there we go. So I'm going to zoom out, take my glasses off a minute. Let's take Basilicanum grey back. We'll zoom out. Oh, not the camera first. Let's knock the camera first, eh? There we are. So thanks ever so much for joining me on this episode of On the Bench with Pete. Hope you got loads of stuff done. I'm happy with the progress I made today. Catachan Jungle Fighters mainly. And a couple bits on a couple of the characters for Zombicide. You know, it's coming, it's coming. So yeah, thanks ever so much for joining me. Please check out my Patreon, or just share, hit that like button, hit it, do it now, and the bell. Give yourself the notifications. But you know all this. Remember, guys, all brushes lead to war. I will see you on another video. Bye for now.